Hey guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast with me, Alex Whiteley. And today we've got a cool episode for you that was planned within 45 minutes, not even joking. I had a late reschedule, which left me with no podcast for today. So I put a thing on Facebook and just said, is anybody free to do a podcast? And within minutes, a good friend of mine, John Molyneux, got in touch. We've been dying to do a podcast for a while. In fact, we've had coffee meetings and all sorts to talk about, the potential future content we can make together. Because my guest today is a videographer. He works with cameras. He makes content. And I sit behind the microphone and I talk a lot. So together, it would have been great if we could just make something. So we did a lot of talk about this on this episode, actually. So John Molyneux, great guest to have, somebody who's out there working in and around TV and videos, and the perfect guest. Someone that makes things with their bare hands, and something that I'm really interested in too. Right then, as we are getting into the festive period, we are very much in the festive period right now, I want to do a bit of chat about, obviously this is a time of happiness for a lot of people, but also for a lot of people, it's not the happiest time. It's not as jolly a time as people would like to admit. So I wanted to highlight a couple of charities that are doing good things locally, where you can help make people's Christmases just that little bit more bearable and nicer. The first one is going to be Shrewsbury Town Foundation. If you go to foundation stfc.co.uk, and then there's a half present donations return for Christmas. And it says here that Shrewsbury Town Foundation is thrilled to announce a special Christmas present donation campaign as part of their holiday activities and food HAF provisions this festive season. It says they are calling on a generous public and local businesses to help make Christmas extra special for children in our HAF program by donating gifts they can wrap and give to their loved ones. And they're seeking donations of chocolates, biscuits, gift sets, candles, and toys as well. And it says here, every gift donated will help brighten a family's Christmas and create lasting memories for children who may not otherwise have the opportunity to give gifts this season. The drop-off location is the Shrewsbury Town Foundation office at the Crowd Meadow on Otley Road, or Oatley Road, depending on how you say it, in Shrewsbury. And the closing date for that is the Friday the 20th of December. So if you have the opportunity to buy an extra gift that you can gift to someone, you can just drop it off at the football stadium, and that will be re-gifted to help families that are less fortunate. And now the other thing I wanted to mention was Shrewsbury Arc. Obviously, there's lots of talk at the moment about keeping the lights on at Shrewsbury Arc. I wanted to. By the way, these haven't been. They haven't asked me to talk about these things. I just literally Googled it now and found out these things. But Shrewsbury Arc. They want to keep their lights on over the winter period and offer what they can, obviously, to their clientele, which is a lot of rough sleepers. And they are doing a Christmas party night at the Shrewsbury Arc. It's a nice day. It looks like a great meal. It's a 2-course Christmas dinner with your choice of roast turkey with all the trimmings. There's also a vegetarian festive option served with your choice of Christmas pudding or cheesecake. Includes a complimentary half bottle of wine per person. Now, the staff that work, take my word for it, I worked there with those people for a little bit. The staff that cook there are incredible. There are dates of the 5th's already gone, but there's a date of the 12th, which is this week as this goes out, on the 19th of December, and it's just £20 per person. And, it's going to be lots of fun with karaoke and in a bar afterwards, which will include donations. So you can get some karaoke, get a few drinks, have some food, meet some great people, and do your part to help a charity that's doing wonderful things for people local in our community. Right, on with this episode then. Really cool stuff. Content creator meets content creator, but on a bigger scale. I think what John's doing is incredible. And it looks to me like we're going to be collaborating again in the future. I want to say a special thank you to Shrewsbury Coffee House. Like I said, this was planned within 45 minutes. And I thought, where have I recorded lots recently? That was just a great little place, and the Shrewsbury Coffee House was one of my favourite places. So I messaged them on Instagram, And within minutes again, they were like, yeah, absolutely, Alex. So I already had my stuff, didn't I? So set up there. We had a great interview. It was fun. So thank you. Enjoy this episode, and I'll catch you guys at the end. 5 minutes before an intro. That's amazing. Enjoy this one, guys. So today we're coming from Shrewsbury Coffee House, one of my favourite little nooks of Shrewsbury. We recorded here so many times. The last time we recorded it, I think it was Tristan Copeland who was doing the documentary, and we sat on the sofas here. That was really, really cool. That documentary blew up. It's incredible that there's so many creative people from Shrewsbury and around Shrewsbury. And also, I want to give a huge shout out to Shrewsbury Coffee House for letting me do this within an hour. Because today's guest has agreed within the hour to come on the podcast because I planned something, it didn't quite work out, and I needed this episode for the Monday. So, John Molyneux, thank you for so much for jumping me on the podcast with me today.
My absolute pleasure. Happy to help.
We've been chim-wagging for a while about making stuff together, haven't we? I mean, like here and there, we kind of had coffees and thought, you know what, you make like cinematography, videography, cinematography. I never know which the distinctions are between them two.
Yeah, I think if you're a bit more pretentious, you might go cinematography. But in my point of view, just video guy.
It's because I interviewed recently on Biscuit Behind the Boom. I interviewed Sam Perry-Falvey, who is the cinematographer for Ren. Wearing his merch today. Some of the most incredible music videos out there. Guys, go and listen to that episode. It's all part of the same Biscuit universe. Anyway, I emailed him. I was like, your work is incredible, because it is. I'd love to speak to Ren's videographer. And he goes, I think you mean cinematographer. And I was like, I'm very sorry. But in all honesty, Sam Perry-Falvey can call himself whatever the hell he likes. He's getting tens of millions of views of the work he's doing with Rem, so he can do what the hell he likes.
Whereas I'm the opposite. I just have to be, I'm just whatever people say I am.
You just do as you're told.
There we go. That's the easiest way.
That's what I do. Yeah, so where are you from? Are you Salopian? Are you from here originally?
Yeah, I'm from Shrewsbury. I've left Shrewsbury occasionally and keep coming back here. It's
the Shire, man.
It's a town where people move to and they kind of stay here. So you've been away, and I work away quite a bit in towns which are, in the nicest possible way, not up to this level. So it's quite nice to always be from here, I think.
It's really insane. I think to think of that, I've been doing this podcast for over 560 episodes. I keep saying that. I've been saying that for about like a year, so more than that. 8 years, and I've never run out of things to talk about. Like, I feel like I could do a show like this in a market town like Wellington or Market Drayton. So thank you so much. My mocha being brought to me. Thank you. I feel like I could never run out of things to talk about, because I feel like when it comes to a podcast or hyper-local content, when you talk about that, the more and more you zoom in, the more and more incredible stories you can find, right?
Yeah, I think on the surface, you'd probably think a little town like Shrewsbury, you'd run out of content or people to speak to very quickly, but there's obviously some very interesting people wandering around the Shire, isn't there?
There is, and I love it because I don't know. There's something about this that I enjoy, about sort of picking people's brains and finding out just what bit about them. It's weird because I have social anxiety. I can't really stand out in a crowd and be like, "What up, guys?" I kind of shrink in a social crowd, but behind a microphone.
You're at home with a microphone and headphones.
Yeah, man. I mean, on a stage as well, I could do this in front of 35,000 people. Wouldn't bother me. Do you know what I mean? It's the microphone, I think. I think it's more about this is my universe. This is my thing. But you come from the world of videography. Where does that start for you? You can drink, by the way. You can be absolutely normal.
I'm a loud drinker. We'll rest it down for a minute.
Yeah.
In regards to video, it started when I was probably 12, 13. We used to make, I think it was probably just after Jackass came out.
Oh.
We weren't making Jackass type videos. It was very much more sketch related videos. Probably similar to like the Fast Show. I say similar to the Fast Show as if mine and Paul Whitehouse's work are on any kind of level play. So yeah, it was all kind of little sketch related stuff, and that in turn led me into the kind of editing side of it, because to start with, we just got my dad's video camera and we'd record whatever we want, and that was that. And then I think one Christmas I think it was Pinnacle editing software or something. I think it must have been whatever was the cheaper, or whatever Curry sold, I think.
Yeah.
So that got me into editing, and then it grew from there, really. I did a video-related course at university, which I would say is a waste of time. If anyone's listening, I wouldn't want this to talk you out about going and doing a creative thing at university, but in my experience, you get better and better by going out there and actually doing something, working with people.
I've heard that from actors right from the top right to the bottom. People in the industry, should I say. Yeah.
But I suppose from my point of view, a video course at university is very geared towards film and how film works, but that was never kind of my area of interest. I always wanted to make a living out of this, and not necessarily in the easiest way possible, but the best way to start is through kind of corporate stuff. And if you've still got that creative spark and want to go into film, I'm sure you can in some ways, but I've always wanted to go down the kind of corporate route with video. And there's nothing at university that kind of teaches you how to deal with clients, because at the end of the day, a lot of the times you're not making your films anymore, you're working to a brief.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to push back when pushback is needed, and also listen to what their kind of wants are, really.
And it's frustrating as well. I mean, I've done a bit of freelance content creation, which is not the same, I know, but like you can kind of get the gist of how the client works, and it kind of frustrated me a bit, because I think I could do it. I've done it. I can edit standing on my head. I love it. I've been doing it for years and years and years. In fact, it's my zone. It's my place of zen, editing audio, video, or even pictures, graphic design. Love it all. But when you spend like 3 hours editing a piece and you send it back to the client, and they come back and go, actually, this is our official color, this is our official font, can you swap this over? And you're like, okay,
suck it up.
Yeah, we don't like the music, or can you take this bit out? It's too short, or it's too. Do you know what I mean? You've got.
Yeah, there's been lots of videos I've made in the past where I know version 1 is by far the best version, and that is what they need, really. But then you get to version 8 at 9, where it's all been kind of changed, watered down a little bit. I think the problem a lot of companies have is they have a lot more knowledge than the outsiders do, and they assume that knowledge a lot, whereas they shouldn't do that, really. They need to look at it from a buyer's perspective, and I don't think they do that a lot of the time. They just want to get their specific words in, whether that's right or not.
Their messages, yeah. And it's hard to assimilate someone that's coming from an outside. You've got like people within that company that know that management system, that know those people, that know their lingo and their behaviours and their mannerisms and stuff. So when someone comes from the outside in, and then they have to deal with those conversations from those people that don't quite understand it, it'd be quite different, quite jarring, I think, to have those conversations. Have you got to learn to like really sort of have patience with that? I don't want to back you into a corner, but like...
No, not necessarily patience. It's just towing the line, really, between trying to find out what a company would need and what it is that they want, because they're generally two very different things. I did one, I think last year. It was for like a company that made like spectacles for children, and the main aim of this was just to be a video on a wall on a loop for buyers to come in and potentially have a look what it is they want to get. But the amount of messages and lingo and paragraphs of detailed kind of medical information that they wanted to get within this video that is just going to go over someone's head when they're kind of passing by it was, I thought, pointless. But
because that comes as words, not as a visual thing you can look at. It comes as a brief, like you said. We want to do this, 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 and this.
And also that's, they were kind of going over the features of these glasses, which aren't necessarily useful to the people that are going to buy them and wear them. They just want to know the glasses aren't going to fall off their face every 20 seconds. They don't need to know about the medical jargon that goes on behind the scenes to make them like that, I suppose.
And I suppose content's changed over the years. Drink.
Okay, then.
Because it's hard, isn't it, to be able to keep up with things sometimes, because things change. we're watching I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here at the moment. It's the only time I'll ever watch sort of terrestrial TV. Otherwise, it's Netflix and Disney and stuff.
You didn't watch The Traitors, then?
Yeah, we did, but we did that. We watched The Traitors like 2 years after it came out and just stayed away from any spoilers.
Yeah.
So we could watch one after the other. We're like eight episodes behind I'm a Celebrity, and I like it that way. It's nice that you can watch. You know what I mean? You can sort of have little mini marathons and then come back to it.
As long as you don't Google it or look at anything on Facebook about it, you'll probably stay away from it then.
So terrestrial TV was like the backbone of everything years ago. You know, TV adverts, and you mentioned earlier like the kind of the sales channels and things. My mum used to watch Gems TV.
Gems TV were our big competitor where I came from.
I'm like, yeah, but I was like, what are you watching? Why are you sitting here watching them flog amethysts and onyx rings and stuff? Like, what?
You watched this with her, didn't you? I can tell you got.
It was always on though. It was always on, and I'd be sat in the corner on the PC or something. I'd be like, and she'd be like, "Oh, this is gonna flip, man! This is gonna flip. Someone's gonna buy it at a bargain price." And I'd be like, "Wow." What is it about those channels that kind of draws people in?
I think, in a way, it's an addiction. I know the shopping channel I worked at, there was somebody that ended up in the news. She worked at a care home, and I think over the course of the years that she was buying jewellery from this company, she'd been taking money from the nursing home to pay for this, which, you know, because you're doing that, I would say that's an addiction. So I think they kind of relied on their certain core customers that were just addicted to buying this stuff, I imagine. Nobody needs that many rings and earrings. And if you do, you've probably got the money that you don't need to buy it from a knockoff channel on Sky. But
I only know the word mother of pearl.
Yeah.
From those two. Everything's mother of pearl. Like, we've got this globe, and it's covered in mother of pearl, and we're selling it for a bargain price of, you know, like, it's mad. Like, I suppose it is an addiction. Like, you feel like you're interacting with it. You're interacting with a TV channel that you're watching. You get to be part of that system, and you get the thing that they're showing in front of you. It's kind of like hits three sort of.
Yeah, because the viewership obviously wasn't very high, so any emails that we got into the studio would be relayed to the presenters, and then they'd mention it. So it was an easy way to get speaking to these people, I suppose. Yeah. And it was the same people ringing in day after day. I imagine it's probably the same with like a local radio station where they'll run a competition in their local area, and you know,
caller number 7.
Yeah, you know you're going to get so many people ringing up who are the same every single day.
Yeah, those things. I love radio. I always wanted to do radio. One of my heroes was Chris Moyles. Growing up, I read all his books. I listened to his radio show religiously. He'd burp on the microphone. He'd be obnoxious, but he'd be good.
Yeah.
He'd be relatable. He'd be like someone you'd sit and have a beer with, or sit and have coffee with, and he'd be poke fun at everybody because everyone was, you know what I mean? Like, he was inclusive in that way. And I remember reading him, and he was like, I used to be addicted to ringing up and getting a shout out on the radio, because then I was on the radio. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing that you can kind of really push someone to, I don't know.
I remember I won tickets to Free Radio Live the one year.
Oh, right.
Just because they were running this competition where you had to come up with a poem or a rap or something like that. So I think I'd been in standstill traffic on the M6 for, I think, 2 or 3 hours. And then this was on the radio. So I just thought, I'll make up a rap while I'm in here. I voice recorded a rap, sent it to him. And then I think 4 or 5 days later, I got a phone call about 7:30 in the morning. I was in bed. This bloke saying, "Oh, you've won tickets for Free Radio Live." And I only just woke up. I hadn't really clocked what was happening. And I had no interest in going to Free Radio Live. So I just asked, can you give it to someone else? When is it? I don't think I can make it. So I think he had a bit of a downer then, and he was like, "Oh, right, okay." Yeah.
You've won the tickets. Yeah. Oh.
Because he was getting really excited. Like, you've got 2 tickets for Free Radio Live. Silence.
Working that day. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks anyway. What's the resale value on them? We went to Hits Radio Live. It's Hits Radio now, isn't it? They changed. It's all Bauer, though. All Bauer. It's this massive machine that runs like Hits Radio and Smash Hits and all of these. It's a conglomerate that's like synergized all of the radio into like this massive long stream where
that's it.
If you want to become a radio presenter now, you've got more chance of winning the lottery. Not even joking. Like you can come with all the qualifications and the biscuit voices you like, but you're never going to get in. I would love to be a part of a machine like that, but at the same time, I think radio needs to stay in the community. I feel like there needs to be something. I know we've got In-Tune Radio and Shropshire Live, and in some regards, BBC Radio Shropshire they do little bits, but like I feel like content like that needs to be stay in the community, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think. What was it a few years ago? Free Radio. Before that, it was Beacon, I think.
Beacon FM, yeah.
And it was always Shropshire and the Black Country. Most shows were, I think, Shropshire and the Black Country. Now I think it's less and less like that, isn't it? And the vast majority is just nationwide.
But I feel like content is becoming more anxiety fulfilling. Like we talk about YouTube Shorts and TikTok and social media. Social media now is getting to a point where it's like, attention, I want your attention, I want your attention, I want your attention, right? And then you got like, TikTok is so addictive. It really is. Like,
I'm not on TikTok.
I post content on there now and again. I post everything mostly on Instagram. But now and again, like the Polar Express in a video I did, I was like, that's too cool not to share on it in TikTok. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way I really go on there. But it is, and then radio at the moment, it's kind of like a song, song. It's like so much content being thrown at you at such a fast pace. I feel like I can't relax with the radio on anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The only thing that always has annoyed me about local radio is the way that they attempt to keep somebody listening, and they'll generally say it something like, "You will never believe what happened to me in Boots the other day. I'll tell you about it right after this."
That's what I mean, yeah. And then it keeps you on a tent hook, and you're like,
yeah. So you've got to listen to Taylor Swift before you can find out his interesting anecdote, what happened in Boots.
Whereas Chris Moores used to be like, they used to play the yes and no game. If they'd walk around London and they'd seen someone famous, you got to guess who it was. Do 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 do, and they'd be yes or no and stuff. Yes or no, yes or no, and it was just like, it was a really entertaining stuff, you know. And I know he still does it. He's at XFM, isn't there?
Is he still there? Is he?
He's not at BBC, but he's at.
No, yeah, I know he'd moved to XFM or whatever the one was.
It was Virgin Radio, then it was XFM, whatever it's called. Yeah, he's still there, I think. But he's doing like tour, and there's a company that just brought Bez to, I think it's 2 days ago, brought Bez to the Butter Market, and I was like, yeah, I can come, I'll do an interview with Bez, no problem. And I was just, I had a difficult shift at work.
Yeah.
And the next day I was a write-off, so I didn't go anywhere to speak to anybody about anything. So, but they're taking Chris Moores around, and I was like, yo, if you if you give me an interview with Chris Moores, I'll be the best friend you've ever had, honestly, because I feel like he did it the best. That being said, I feel like radio needs to come down a peg. I feel like it needs to slow down. I don't know, listeners, if you feel that way. I mean, maybe you're in it just for the music, but you're not even getting that much music anymore, are you?
To be honest, I think the amount I've listened to radio has gone down and down.
Yeah.
I still listen to James O'Brien's Mystery Hour on occasion, just to find out my interesting facts. I found out why Maltesers are perfectly smooth.
Yeah?
You know, there's obviously no trace of where the chocolate started and ended when the Malteser's been done.
Oh, right, okay.
Because at the Mars factory, they have what's known as the roller coater, which is a big cylindrical device that they load the pre-dipped Maltesers in. They move around this roller coater, and then out the other end, they're perfectly smooth.
That's brilliant. They have to. When I worked at Muller for a year, I can say that now because I don't work there. They can't exactly fire me, can they? I worked there for a year, and every night they'd have like, just like video. It's a big TV in the canteen. They'd have like documentaries and factories, how it's made, and we'd be watching this.
How it's made. Fantastic! I could sit and watch those videos all day. I could sit and watch that, and I could sit watching videos of people cleaning rugs.
Yeah, but that's what it is about. Sometimes the mundane can sometimes be therapeutic to some people.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So when you start making content? So I mean, we could go back quite a little bit. So you're making videos, making sketches. You want to get into making your own content for people, making your own money. What's the kind of first jobs you get where you're making money with a camera?
Well, I was lucky in a sense. The first job I got was at the shopping channel, the jewellery shopping channel. And that was full-time. It was 14 days a month because I think they were 12-hour shifts. That gave me a lot of off days to try and do stuff myself. So I had a camera, basic microphone equipment and stuff like that. And I remember the first job I ever did, I think I went and did it for free, or I could have done it for like 250 quid, something like that. It was a company called The Green Arena. I don't know if they're still going. I hope they're still going. They basically built kind of cardboard demountable buildings, I suppose you'd say. I think it was very eco-friendly, this kind of thing. So my first video was a little promotional video for them.
Oh, cool.
And I think you do 3 or 4 of them, and then you've got more scope to go out to companies and...
Yeah, this is what made you got a portfolio then.
Exactly. So, yeah, and then it was corporate videos for probably 4 or 5 years until I could earn enough from that to leave the shopping channel. And in the past 5-6 years or so, it's kind of transitioned to not doing very many marketing videos at all, and it's all live streaming really now.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's 2 things I think that stop me doing as many of them. The first is the kind of creative spark for me kind of went a little bit. Like, I've never been a fan of go and film an event for 4 hours and then put all the footage together and try and be creative and make it look good. That just kind of went. So I like far more methodical things. That's why I like live streams, because I enjoy the tech aspect of setting it all up. A lot of conferences and stuff like that are very templated into how you'd set stuff up anyway, and there's no editing involved, because the editing is something that I haven't done a lot of in the last 2 years. And
well, if it's live on the fly, then it's live on the fly, isn't it?
I'm thankful you can... previously, if I went in and recorded a conference, say you do a 3-day conference, you've then got 24 hours of footage on 3 different cameras that they then want you to piece together. Now I can just edit it all live, and at the end of the conference, you say, oh, there it is. There's the videos. There's your invoice. I don't want anything else to do with you.
That's interesting. Obviously, we did Pod Aid, which was live, but I broke that up into smaller bits. Like, because they were 24-hour live podcasts every hour, I would then break them down into individual podcasts and stuff. That's a pain in the arse. It really is a pain in the arse. But when it comes to live stream, I've got a cousin in New York. Big shout out to Santi. Hey, how's it going, cabron? If you ever listen to this, he's crazy but brilliant at what he does. And he's a director for, at the time he was a director for a food channel, and he was in Shrewsbury. He's Colombian, away from New York at the time. And I was chatting to him while he was at family's house. I was like, so what are you doing? He goes, I'm working, man. I was like, you're working? He's like, yeah, I'm directing a show. I was like, but we're in Shrewsbury. He goes, yeah, let's take a look. He's spun his laptop round, and the show's happening as it's going, and he's directing from Shrewsbury.
Oh, yeah.
How incredible is that? Like, it's a live cooking show. And he's just like, yeah. And I said, that's bull. That's not live. He goes, hey, watch this. Hey, say, wave to my friend Alex, man. And he goes, hello, Alex. What?
See, I love not necessarily the ability to do that. It's more of a fact that I think I'd be too stressed if I was sat in my house directing one of my streams that's, say, happening in London, and then if something goes wrong, I know there's nothing I can do to kind of fix the situation.
Oh, the Wi-Fi's died.
Yeah.
You're on your own hands now. You'll have to crack on. God's. I remember when we did Pod Aid the second time at Love to Stay, they put us on the cafe Wi-Fi, which was only like 4 hours cut-off time or something. So we had Charlie Adlard and we had Mike Perkins walk in. They sat down. We were about to do an interview, and the interview just cut dead, and everybody just went on the screen, like it was awful. And I was running around going, oh my god, we've got no internet, and I went to reception. I was like, we've got no internet, we're doing a live show in front of like thousands of people, what's going on? I got Charlie Adler. I'm going like, and they were like, oh, it's because we put you on our customer Wi-Fi. We'll give you your own server. You'll be absolutely fine. And they switched me to the fastest internet I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
But you've got to have feet on the ground, haven't you, to be able to make sure that...
With live streams, I think there's that many different steps of redundancy you can put into it. You can have backup machines running the exact same show file. You can have backup internet that's kind of a hot failover. But there's still stuff that can go wrong that's going to be completely out of your control. So, you try and set up in the best possible way, and
just have all these contingencies ready to go if you need them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you got to do risk assessments and things on these things. What could go wrong, and how can we fix it if it does?
Yeah, it's.
Do you do that, or you just like you have
certain places ask for risk assessment, so we provide a risk assessment. But the vast majority of places aren't too interested. If it is, it's just a box ticking exercise, and no one's ever going to look at these things, I suppose.
So what's your favourite thing to stream?
My favourite thing to stream is darts. Do quite a bit of darts.
What is it the Crucible? What's it called? The
Ali Pali.
Ali
Pali's a big one.
I don't watch. Can you tell I don't watch darts?
Yeah.
Have you done that then?
I've been there. I was at Ali Pali last year and the year before. I'm not on the Sky bandwagon. I don't sit in the gallery directing anything there, but they had us doing the pre-show. There's a pre-show that goes out on YouTube where they'll just get fans up to ask them questions, get them throwing darts and stuff like that. So that was quite good because I got to do that, and then at the end of that you can go and watch the darts, and then just had to stay and do the player interviews afterwards.
Okay.
So I've done a bit of that.
Have you met, what's his name, Littler? Have you met him? Luke Littler.
No, I haven't met him. No.
Yeah, he's. I don't watch darts, so we were watching it with my friends, and I know how to play 501. I know how to play around the world. We used to do that when I was a kid. I used to go to my dad's in Ireland for the summer holidays, and that's how we would spend 6 weeks just playing around the world on the dartboard. You know. But like watching darts is different because it's like, I don't know, man. I think you probably have to be there. But even when you're there, it's just people getting sloshed and jumping around on tables and stuff. It's a bit mad.
Yeah, have you've never been to watch it then?
No.
You should
good?
You should go to Wolverhampton next year.
Yeah, if the guys are doing the Wolverhampton darts and they want some content being made or Biscuit Guy to be there, then I'll come along. If it's I'll come along. I'll do it. You
just have to do the interviews early because I'd say past 3 or 4 o'clock you won't be in any state to be recording podcasts.
That's incredible. Do you like to do the darts? That's good. Any other sports that you?
This weekend I've just been doing a pickleball event in Basingstoke.
A what?
Pickleball.
Pickleball.
You can tell an American named it, can't you?
Yeah. I'm only joking, by the way. If you listen to the Shrewsbury Biscuit, you know that I'm a little bit obsessed with pickleball. We played it at the Kids Festival. We covered it for Shropshire Festivals, and I had a little taste of it.
And I enjoy it.
It's really addictive.
Apparently so. I've bought a racket, but they never come out the packet. I think they're in the attic now. But I have heard it's very addictive.
And I know that they do it in Sports Village, but like, it was quite dear. I was kind of like, I can't afford. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I need to find somewhere that does it. That I can just rock up with a pickleball.
I don't know too much about it, but I know there's clubs in Shrewsbury, Telford, Oswestry, I think. I think the trouble is there's no actual pickleball courts anywhere, I don't think.
No, they're quite purpose-built, aren't they?
Yeah, they have to tape them out over the badminton courts, I think.
Yeah, because it's like a harder floor, isn't it, so the ball can...
No, it's the same floor. It's just, I think the dimensions of courts are different. So they generally just tape out over half a tennis court.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense. But I'd love to give it a go. My problem is my ankles. I roll my ankles very easy.
You don't have to move too much. You can just play doubles.
If anybody's listening to this wants to play me at pickleball, let's do it. We'll do it. We'll get some lavalier microphones and we'll do a podcast whilst I'm trying not to die.
I'll come and film it for you.
That's a good segue about challenges. What do you like to challenge yourself with these things, or do you like it like nice? This is how it's supposed to be. There's nothing that can mess up. Or do you like to really push yourself out there?
Challenge myself in regards to what?
Making things in an extreme way or a new way, or do you know what I mean? Like, is there anything that you want to take on that you think may be too big, but you'd really want to take it on anyway? That sort of thing.
I always like the idea of saying yes and then worrying about things later. So when people ask me if I can do X, Y, Z, it's much easier to say yes and then figure it out than say no and then wonder whether you could have actually done it in the first place. But when I'm doing these streams for kind of pickleball and darts, obviously in a lot of grassroots sports there's not a massive amount of money in there, so I try to do as much as possible with the 2 or 3 people that we've got, as opposed to everyone just has a single job. So it is like being an octopus when you're directing the pickleball, because you're doing all the cameras, the scoring, the audio, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas in a proper TV environment, you may have 3 or 4 people doing those jobs. So I do, because I know they want to spend their budget in the best way. I just try and push myself as much as possible to make that happen, really.
That's why I got a lot of respect for Paul Shuttleworth, because he's been doing the Telford Tigers stuff in Telford for a while. Yeah. I know he's a BBC Shropshire, and I do want his job. Paul, I do want his job, and he knows that. I'm joking. I don't think I'd work well with the BBC. It's a joke. But like he's been doing stuff with the Telford Tigers for a long time.
Yeah. And
he's very much does that. He does the announcer, and he's also a referee as well for ice hockey. Like, I suppose if you're passionate about something, you.
Well, I remember I did an interview with a radio DJ in Wolverhampton a few years ago, and it amazed me. I turned up at like 9:30 for this little 20-minute interview. And in the 45 minutes I was there, he was obviously running his own show, doing his little segues between music, doing an interview with me, and then also recording bits for a show that he also does in Cyprus at the same time.
Wow.
So I was amazed at the amount of stuff he was meant to kind of handle at once, because it would have thrown me. But I think as soon as you get used to it, you're almost on autopilot with a lot of these things.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what you know, isn't it? It's kind of muscle memory, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But if you're used to spinning plates, I mean, some people use things like ADHD as a superpower. Do you know what I mean? They kind of like, I can focus on these a million things at the same time, and that's just normal for me.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I don't know. I think I can do that, and I have done that. I was watching I'm a Celebrity last night whilst editing audio, whilst making artwork. So I had my headphones on one ear, the TV on, and then I had Affinity up while I was doing artwork design. So I can spin many plates at the same time. I've got that dual screen action, as they call it. But I like to keep my ideas fresh.
Yeah.
I'm always messing around with my logos. More like my wife's like, now, because there's things happening in the background, that we need to keep the logo the same for a bit. She's like, don't change the logo, Alex. Keep it the same.
She keeps you grounded, does she?
She kicks my butt if there's a couple of things. If I'm overdoing it, you know, because today I was meant to do 3 interviews. I wanted to do 3 interviews. She was like, no, Alex, you're not doing that. She also helps me out with Biscuit Behind the Boom. Let's turn that up a bit, man. Let's get a bit more exciting. Here we go. She's getting guests for me. Like, she got me Jeff Brennan the other day, who storyboarded for Courage the Cowardly Dog. He did, what's it called? He did Ghostbusters. He did so much. And she was like, do you want it? And I was like, yes. And she'll message them and they'll get back to me, and then we'll book it in. Like, she's brilliant at that. She's so good. She got me Carol Baskin years ago. She's the one that got that. Like, so she's brilliant. Honestly, she really is. She keeps me grounded.
Do you think it's because these people are getting emails from her and they think, oh, this must be his assistant or PA? This guy's
he's on fire. He's on fire. But what I will say to anybody who wants to start podcasts, by the way, I mean, I don't know if it's different for me, because I don't mean to sound this like the word Alex Whiteley is since 2018 is synonymous with podcasts, because I've been doing it for so long. If because I've just started a podcast and I use those hashtags and it kind of runs back through everything, but I've only got like 39 followers, I think, already on Biscuit Behind the Boom. I'm not pushing it. I'm not trying to add in loads of followers, but we're getting like some crazy reach already. Like, do you know what I mean? And that just goes to show that if you do things properly, with your artwork, with your SEO, and keep everything running, you don't need thousands and thousands of followers to create a good movement.
What are the big things you'd have done differently when you started
the Biscuit?
Yeah, you must have something. If I cocked up there, I shouldn't have done.
I don't know. I really don't know, because I feel like I had to do it. If I hadn't have done it when I did it, I don't think I ever would have done it, because the difference between this and Thor's Kin, the original podcast I was doing, was like we were making dick and fart jokes with my best friend in Vermont who likes to smoke a bit of weed now and again. Do you know what I mean? And that was like, it was very Kevin Smith orientated content, whereas like the Biscuit's very sophisticated. What would I have done different? I think I'd have made people come to me more than me go to them, but I think that kind of made me reliable. I can go anywhere and do anything. I'm used to now setting up in Shrewsbury Coffee House or in the Shrewsbury Prison, or doing it at home, or going to Shropshire Business Suite, which with the amazing Stu Woodens will just let me just sit there and do stuff. And I could have done that today. I could have messaged Stu today and gone, oh my God, I've got a podcast in an hour. Can we do this? But I don't like to be that person. So I guess what I'm saying is I think I'd ask people for more. If that makes sense. I wouldn't be the one to go and do these things. I'd ask people to come to me a bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But with the content, I think I'd have liked to have started video straight from the get-go. because I think video is important. I think with podcasts, I think people do appreciate this being an audio, and I think I'd like to have the video to back it up as well. I think it's good to have the both, isn't it?
Well, you see loads of shorts now, don't you, on social media, where they'll just clip little bits of podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, I've never listened to very many podcasts at all, but I know about the Buckley's podcast purely just because I see so many things of him on Facebook. A lot of Jackmate stuff, I've never listened to any of his podcasts, but I've probably seen tens and tens of his videos, little short clippets on Facebook. So,
and that's where it's handy. So I repurpose my stuff, and what I usually do is I use Headliner. It's a great online app where you can make little reels and things. You can take audio, put it on a place card, and just have that as a reel. So I do that an awful lot anyway. I can make it myself. It's just easier to use Headliner. And then, or you can use Canva to do that. So I do repurpose it, but it's a ball like having to rip the audio, then you got to render it again, and then you got to drag it onto the, you know what I mean? Like, so that is cool. I would never make a podcast that looks like a podcast, if that makes sense.
No, that doesn't make sense. Do you want to explain what you mean?
I'd like it to look like we're sat at a table chatting.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so you wouldn't want almost like a studio environment, that kind of thing?
Originally, I wanted. I was watching Sons of Anarchy when I first started doing this. I always wanted. They have this beautiful table in Sons of Anarchy with their badge logo woven, carved into the table. I always wanted like a Shrewsbury Biscuit version of that. I would have thought that'd be great because originally I used to have those two microphones that used to go across.
Yeah,
that in a table, that would have been great. I used to want that. I used to want that studio, but my stuff isn't, or it's not normal podcasty stuff because it's not super edited. It is just like organic conversation. This will go out pretty much as it sounds. Gentleman next to us, I was like, I can record a podcast. So I was tapping on my keyboard. I was like, type away, man. It's fine. That's how it's meant to be. So I'd like to welcome people to sit at a table. I wouldn't want them to feel like they're watching a show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people with the lights in the background. Maybe I'd do it like a talk show, like in a way that, like, you see those chairs behind you? They got like the chairs are at an angle.
Yeah.
Camera there like that, in a nice cozy corner, chatting and sat on chairs, rather than big desk, Joe Rogan style. You know,
could do it Alan Carr style. Just have one of them globes that's full of gin and special brew.
Yeah. Yeah, and just be like, crack
That'll
on.
Get people talking.
That'll crack on. I mean, the reason why I started Biscuit Behind the Boom is because I can, not only can I kind of reach out the SY, I can also lower the tone a little bit. It's been a bit awkward recently because the last two people I've interviewed are Tony Reid, who's a senior executive producer at CBeebies and Sky, making kids TV, and Mr. Bloom. So I couldn't really be like, what the F's going on, bro? Like, I can't really bring that tone down because it's not fair to them. But this gives me a bit more of a license to be a bit more relaxed. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I can swear a little bit, do you know what I mean? Whereas the Biscuit, I don't really do that. I say the Biscuit's kind of like got a 12 rating, so there might be a bloody or something thrown in or something, you know what I mean? But nothing serious. What about you? Have you ever thought of getting into podcasting? Like actually making a podcast, sitting in front of a microphone? Because you're not bad, man.
I haven't, to be honest with you. I don't know, probably because I haven't thought about what topics I'd like to cover with it, really. And I've never put the thought into what kind of audience is there to be able to have the want to listen to anything that I'd have to say.
So you could make something with a brief. What if you had someone that was like, that would plan the episodes and you didn't know what the hell was going on? You just turned up and you had to speak to someone on the fly. You didn't know who they were. And, you know, you could rock up one day and it could be Steve-O. Or you could rock up one day and it's a small little intimate band from Shrewsbury or something. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't know what's going on every week. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
No, yeah, and I could have a lot to talk to Steve-O about, but a little band, I probably wouldn't have very much. My musical knowledge is highly limited, but that's kind of what you've done now. I turned up 20 minutes ago and we're like, what do you want to have a chat about? And
yeah.
Here we are.
Because we were like chatting like last year or something about possibly putting something together, and when it comes to creativity, anybody in Shrewsbury will know that I'm always got ears on the ground, always looking for things. The music thing, I've kind of stepped off the foot off the gas for a bit, and I want to the last time we did music was Josh Lobley brought his from the Irish Rovers, brought his guitar around and he played some music. And because his music is the outro, what I miss is the outro music is by Josh Lobley, and I loved it because he's talking about like the things he used to do as a kid, like that were probably a little bit bad, but like the things that they're the things that made him, you know. And that's why this podcast for me is great, because it is just me just chatting away. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
and you do very well at it.
I'm all right. I do ramble, but I'd like to get some more sort of acoustic musicians on the show and stuff. Like we had Triple J coming on the show. I didn't say Triple H, the wrestler. Triple J, he just won a Shropshire Music Awards. He came on the show a couple of years ago and he just sat rapping in my dining room. Like that was brilliant.
Well, as soon as you get a bit bigger, you can have a house band then, can't you?
Oh, house band for the Shrewsbury Biscuit. I would love, and you know, we're talking about like cameras and videos. Okay, I'm going completely far away from the cozy corner that I was just talking about. What about like a late show, but for Shrewsbury? Do you know what I mean? Like, it would work so well, wouldn't it? You could get like anybody every week, like the desk, and then the backdrop of Shrewsbury in the background.
Who was the first guest you want to have on there?
There's someone I've been trying to get on my show since it started, and that's Greg Davis. I think he'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Like he's local, he's from Wem, and he's massive, isn't he? I think in the UK he's probably A-lister, Taskmaster himself, you know.
The trouble is, if you start off that hot, you'd be hard to top that, wouldn't you?
Well, this is what I've done with Biscuit Behind the Boom. It's because we've hit the ground running. You know, we've had some amazing people come on already. I've spoken to one of the greatest cinematographers I think in the country right now, because everybody's talking about his work, and so it's. And I'm not saying going from that to Mr. Bloom is like a drop in the ocean, not at all. Not like, because I think Ben Folks, when we brought him on, he's got this amazing mindset. I didn't want to wait for the work to come to me. I created the work and I went to it, and I thought that was fantastic. So that's not what I'm saying at all. Well, what I'm saying is that was such a monolithic guest to get. Like, it's hard to keep up that momentum. You know what I mean?
So what, have you got a few irons in the fire with it now or not?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it helps that we got nominated for the award this year. It helps that I can say that I'm nationally recognised, because that's true. Like we've got a bit of pulling power now. I mean, this podcast today wouldn't have happened today if the guys from the Shrewsbury Coffee House wouldn't have been like, oh, yeah, absolutely, come round. Or if you weren't like, oh, I'd love to do a show with you. I'm pretty sure I put like alarm bells out everywhere on social media today. I'm going to go away from this with 2 or 3 other people that probably want to come on the podcast, and that's what it means to me. That's really important. But with the Boom, I feel like there's lots of people out there. What I'm trying to do with the Boom I don't want to talk to people that starred in the movies. I want people that made it with their physical hands, like yourself. People behind the camera, the lighting directors.
I could find you a researcher from Love Island. And apart from that, my contacts, that's...
researcher for Love Island?
Yeah, so if you want to speak to a researcher from Love Island...
That'd be good. How do you find the dirt on these people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think he had to... Last time I spoke to him, he has to live with them he gets given one person and he lives with them for 2 weeks before they go into the villa. Because I think, obviously, they'll go out there, and then if you're not going in for a few weeks, you can't sit at home and watch the show. You're just in a hotel...
And what, he just gets paid to just live with them, or do you have to interview him, get facts out of them, or what?
No, because this is obviously after they've already been cast, so I think it's just holding them until they're ready to unleash them.
Give them a bit of space between the reality and when they go in. That's interesting. Yeah. I'd love to do that, but I'd be so much like, so what's your type?
I can't go into the Love Island villa now because I've run off with the research.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be a temptation for them. Not for me. I mean, I'm a married guy, do you know what I mean? But I need to control yourself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I don't think this bloke in Love Island was gay anyway, so they would...
Yeah. The people that make movies, the people that don't normally come out in the limelight, they don't normally get people going. Oh, there's a guy at the moment I really want. He made Vecna, and he made the Thing in the new Fantastic Four. He's amazing at what he does. I want to speak to him, because these are people that don't normally get podcasters go, you want to come on my podcast? Do you know what I mean? So I think that's why it's working for me. I think when you talk about Ren, probably one of the hottest, I don't mean hot as in fit, I mean hot as in like he's an incredible artist and definitely in the UK right now. People want to speak to him. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to speak to Sam Perry-Falvey, who made the videos. So that's why it's easy to get him, I think.
Who's on your list next?
I want to cover more theatre and music, but I almost want to create a coup. I want to get someone that's just like impossible to get. So I wrote to the guy who wrote the music for Hamilton and like Moana and stuff. Like, I'm writing to people like that because I feel like, why not? Why the hell not? Why can't I get these people? Do you know what I mean? I've got some pull and power with theatre in some regards. We've done some great stuff with the John Molyneux Theatre Company last year. I was thinking of reaching out to them because they've got some great shows going and some great, amazing talents a part of them. What Emilio, who's on the show last year when we covered what they were doing in Shrewsbury, he just won a national theatre award. So there are people that I could probably bring in.
Yeah.
I mean, so that'd be good. What about you? I mean, like you're a cinematographer, a videographer, whatever. If you could talk to someone that makes films, that is behind a camera, and you know specifically they got a great skill, who would you speak to?
I don't think it'd be anyone to do with film. People are always not amazed when I tell them this, but I don't watch any films at all. I don't watch any films. I don't watch very much TV.
That's my coat over there. If you want to move that, you can do. So nobody that is well known. You're saying?
No, I wasn't saying. I don't watch many films. I don't know who directs this, that, or the other. My film knowledge is about as good as my music knowledge, which people don't seem to understand because I go out and film stuff. But yeah, in regards to films, I've never been a film buff at all. No.
I got given an email that pretty much goes directly to Kevin Smith, and I got this about 4 weeks ago. Kevin Smith would be probably for any podcaster out there, would be the pinnacle. That'd be great. I met him, I worked around him, I've interviewed Ralph Garman, who's his co-host of Hollywood Babylon. Ralph Garman does the voices for Family Guy. He's every other voice. He's on every single episode. He's an amazing, incredible voice actor as well. But Kevin Smith, because what they did with Clerks, making it with they got a loan, they made it with borrowing money off people and stuff. And Clerks obviously called classic now. And then they sold it to Miramax, and to be able to do that, and I mean, and the guys from Always Sunny, I'd love to speak to Rob Mack.
Yeah,
I would, and it's nothing to do with football either. Definitely nothing to do with Wrexham Football Club. But
just go hang around on a match day, you'll be there eventually.
Well, my kids live in Wrexham, so I can say to him just hang around Wrexham, get me his details. I would love to speak to him. It's not like it would be nothing about the football. It would be like they made the first season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia using boom mics, broom handles as boom mics, and taping stuff to things and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
It might be quite refreshing for him to walk around Wrexham and not have somebody talk to him about football for once. He might.
Yeah, I'd love that. If anybody's got any details for Rob Mack, or Rob McElhenney as you used to know him, he's Rob Mack now, then fire him my way, because I'd love to. And that's mad as well, because genuinely I like Ryan Reynolds. I think he's great, he's really good, but as what was an independent creator with those guys behind Always Sunny, I would always speak to them first. Like for me, Charlie Day is just one of the most perfect creators of anything, because that guy, he plays Charlie in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he's he's one of the writers, he's one of the original writers, but he's so comically and musically, and he's just brilliant at whatever he does, I think. You know what I mean?
So that would be your number one then, you reckon?
Yeah, Kevin Smith or Rob Mack at the moment. But like I said, I need to focus more on the music and the theatre with Behind the Boom. Yeah. But also as well, it goes without saying that guest co-hosts. I'm looking for guest co-hosts. So you can guest co-host an episode with me one day if you want.
Yeah, anything.
Because
as long as it's not a director and you're expecting me to have knowledge of his films, and then.
But I think that's really good, though. I think it's I think it's really fun putting people on the spot. Do you know what I mean? Watch you shrivel just a little bit while you're struggling to speak to someone. I think that I find real comedy in that.
Get me in, sign me up.
There was a really good I absolutely implore anybody to go and listen, watch. There's an episode of Take Your Shoes Off podcast with Rick Glassman, who's one of my favourite podcasters. Rick Glassman is a stand-up comedian, but he's autistic as well, and he's very difficult around people, not just because he couldn't help it, because he thinks it's funny as well. And he creates these bits, what people call comedy bits, live as he's going, and he'll make people feel uncomfortable on the podcast on purpose just to make it a bit funny, right? So he made this skit about he wanted to interview David Corenswet as the new Superman, So when they were doing a press day at Superman, he's there with his camera. He's walking around trying to get in. He's trying to run past security, and they're like, "No, you got to leave," all that sort of stuff. And then he finally gets this interview with David Corenswet, and then they film David Corenswet coming into a studio, and he's getting a massage. He finally gets the actor that he really wants, and Rick Glassman's lying there getting a massage in the middle of the podcast room, and David Corenswet sort of sat in the corner, like really awkwardly drinking tea. So, is this the podcast? He goes, "Yeah, I'll be there in a minute." It's just a really funny bit where he's finally got the actor he wants to speak to, and he just doesn't give a crap. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what some people are like.
Yeah,
roll with the punches.
Yeah, and it was really. I just found it really brilliant. I find things like that really, really funny. He did one with Paul Rudd, where they gave him concussion.
They gave who concussion?
Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
And he's like throwing up on himself and stuff, and his agent's going, "Paul needs to be ready in 2 hours, or he needs to be ready in 45 minutes," and they're trying to make it look like they haven't just nearly killed Paul Rudd, and they spill coffee on it. It's brilliant. Like, yeah, I love stuff like that.
It's probably, you need to know that you did the air quotes when you said gave him concussion.
Yeah,
so that,
Paul Rudd.
They didn't really hit Paul Rudd over the head with a plank of wood, right?
I think they've written to Paul Rudd and gone, "Would you just be an idiot for us on a podcast?" He's gone, "Absolutely." Yeah. And he's gone with the role of the punches. That's really good. So, what are you working on at the moment, John? I mean, you got to be constantly thinking about these things, haven't you?
Yeah, always trying to think a couple of months in advance. It's the vast majority are conferences, corporate related live streams.
Not steady work, is it? Right?
Yeah. Well, for example, the pickleball that we do, there's probably 12 times a year we do that. The darts, I think next year I've got 8 weekends in that are all for the darts. So that's a decent base to start with. And then you just kind of build the kind of corporate work on top of that.
Taking a selfie. But I always do like a 3-second countdown on my selfie, because that means you don't have to take it like 3 different times. But when you're doing like a podcast and people see you doing that, and you're like, "Hold on, what are you saying? Just stop for a sec so I can take a selfie." It's so weird. It's so awkward. It's good that the steady work's coming in, though.
Yeah, it's when you do work with multiple different people, when you're not relying on one company. Because obviously when you start going freelance, you'll end up doing work for one company, and you may as well just be employed by them, I suppose. So having lots of different companies that are maybe booking you 3 or 4 times a year, if one of them gets knocked on the head or they go under, it's not as big of an impact as it would have been, I think.
So do you get credited on the end of things as well, or is it just because it's live stream there's no credits at all? And they're like,
no, there's very little credit for anything, really. I did get a credit on the Pickleball England social media last week for the streams we've done. We've been working with them for 5 years now, so it's nice for them to say, "Oh,
the DOP."
It was just thank you to John Molyneux at Shoot On Site for all the live streams, and then a photo of me looking excruciatingly bored while directing pickleball. I can say I wasn't bored, but it looked like
after a long day.
Yeah, I was not having the time of my life.
Yeah, I imagine. Are you okay being in the background? Because I do wonder about this. This is why I want to do Biscuit Behind the... We're going to do this every time. Biscuit Behind the Boom. It's because I want to give credit to those that are kind of hiding in the shadows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never really thought about it, to be honest. There's, as you said, would I like to start a podcast? Probably not, because there's nothing that I think I'd overly want to talk about. I'm just happy to sit there behind a vision mixer and make things look okay.
Ah, good. Well, I have got a proposition for you. Well, it's weird to do this on a podcast, but I've been talking the last couple of episodes about Pod Aid because I've done it for a couple of years because life has been a little bit hectic. I want to do something for the Ark and for Lingen Davis. So there's some ideas, and in the new year I'm going to start creating meetings with places, because I do have an idea of where we can record. I have an idea of who to get involved. I also need to bring in guests, and it takes a long time to put together. If you've got a camera handy and you've got like a day free, would you be interested in helping us out with that, maybe?
Well, yeah, I think if you ask anyone on a podcast, we're doing this thing for the Ark and Lingdon Davis. Yeah, can you help? Only a horrible person would surely say no, wouldn't they?
Well, I saw the opportunity and I took it. What can I say?
So there we go. I'm in then.
Oh, brilliant. Because it's a difficult task, because the cameras are live streaming for 24 hours. It's not easy. We've done it before. Rocking Horse Media helped us out the 1 year. And then it was Charles Denscom helped us out the other year, and literally just set up a camera and leave it going, and the YouTube does the rest. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's what we're thinking of doing. We'll do it.
Have you ever done a long stream like that on YouTube?
Yes, we had to break it up into 3 8-hour segments.
Yeah, because after 12 hours they don't upload the on-demand.
Yeah. So
just want you to be aware before you lose the last 12 hours.
Yeah, we created 3 studios 1, 2, and 3. So we did 8-hour blocks. So you set 3 separate events, one that runs after the other, and then you go, okay, guys, switch over to Studio 2 now, and then there's the link, and then people switch over.
Who are you pulling in for the 2, 3, 4 a.m. shifts?
Guest-wise, well, this is great because whenever I've done it in the past, we just switch to America then.
Oh, okay.
So we can go anywhere in the world, not just Shrewsbury. We can go anywhere in the world. We created so many. We interviewed Pete Bennett from Big Brother.
Yeah,
Wank it, that guy.
Yeah, I remember him.
I made friends with Jeffrey Weinstein. I'm now friends with George McFly.
I like the amount of people you've mentioned in the film industry, and the first I really recognised was Pete Bennett from Big Brother 3 or whatever it was.
Never mind George McFly.
Yeah.
I love that. Charlie Adler was funny. So Charlie Adler did the voice for Starscream in the Transformers cartoon. He also did Cow and Chicken. He did loads and loads of voices. He was. Do you remember Our Real Monsters on Nickelodeon? Did you ever watch that?
The guy who has eyes that he holds above his head. Yeah,
he had Ickis, the little red one. He did the voice for Ickis too. Nice. He was incredible. In fact, I was like, Dad, because he kind of raised me as a kid, you know. And it was really funny because it was like we had a watershed. Well, I did put out there that we were going to have a 9 p.m. watershed moment. So no swearing before 9, and that's because of Tom Bruno mainly, because he's in Vermont and he's effing and jeffing it anyway. Yeah. And we're bringing Charlie Adler on at 8 o'clock because I thought kids TV guy would be absolutely fine. He's a good friend as well. He's one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. But he's struggling to get online. He can't click the link and he can't get backstage or whatever. And we had our sponsors. I think Reach were there. I think somebody from Lincoln Davis was there. Everyone's crowded around. Oh my God, this is amazing! Look at all the studio lights I'm going. And then Charlie comes on the stream live. He's like, "What the f is going on? Like, I couldn't effing get on stage. This is effing frustrating. I can't believe it." I was like, "Hi, Charlie, you're live on Pod 8." Like, it was so funny. But afterwards, he was so sweet. Like, yeah, we had some really good moments with that.
Yeah,
it's good. And if we can raise some money for the, I definitely want to work with the Ark and Lincoln Davis both at the same time. And the idea was, I did mention one of my intros to maybe lock myself in a prison cell for 24 hours, but I didn't want to like any negative connotations with rough sleepers in prison. That's not like kind of the link I want to make at all whatsoever. It would just be a good place to lock me and put cameras in my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that's a separate thing then? You're not doing Pod Aid from the prison then?
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
That's the premise behind it. Okay.
Well, we don't know yet. I spoke to Joel and he said, yeah, absolutely. That was last year. So we'll have to have the conversation. So if anybody's got any ideas, genuinely, if anybody wants to work with me on this, if somebody listens to this from the college groups or anything like that wants to get the young people involved, making graphic design, making some backdrops, maybe we can do something to help to raise money for the charities involved before we do that. We can make some Pod 8 t-shirts and sell them. Absolutely, I want to get involved with people. So if somebody's listening to this, get in touch. Isn't it? Yeah. So we'll talk about what you are doing. We've got like a few minutes left of this. What would you love to work on? What would be your dream job behind a camera?
Honestly, the dream job first would be to direct the darts on a bigger stage than I do at the moment.
Yeah?
So I do a lot of the Pro Tour stuff, which is just the stuff behind closed doors, no crowd or anything like that. It's just their standard Pro Tour. So ideally, I'd love to be the guy directing the main Sky shows. That'd be ideal.
And would you do it as it is and perfect and make sure it runs perfectly? Or would you put your own little spin on it?
There's limited things you can do when it comes to vision mixing darts because it's very, it's
got to run like it normally does so people know what's going on.
It's quick enough as it is as a sport, so there's not really many avenues to make anything any different, and the actual mixing the darts hasn't changed since they bought the kind of standard split screen in, which I think it was probably like late 80s or something like that. It stayed pretty consistent, and it's probably for a reason, I think.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll put in a good word for you over at Sky and see what we can do.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I might have to wait for a director to get sacked or do something first. But we'll go from there.
If you listen to this guy, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Where can people follow your stuff if they wanted to see what you've been filming, what you've been up to?
My website is shootonsite.co.uk, and I don't use social media or anything like that. I've never felt the need to.
So John's a hermit, but you can go and reach him on his website, I'm sure.
I'm a hermit, but I did jump out here at 20 minutes notice.
You did, and you're a legend for
Coffee
that.
House.
Absolutely, absolute legend. Thank you for that, by the way. That was really nice of you.
No, my absolute pleasure, because I know we've been talking about doing stuff for a while. It seems to me whenever I speak to you, it's like when you see a friend you haven't seen for 3 years. Oh, yeah, we will catch up and have a pint.
Yeah.
Never happens.
Well, I'm trying to work on that. I mentioned on Biscuit Behind... I have to do it now. Biscuit Behind the Boom. Interviewing Tony Reid that my social sort of circle kind of died out a bit because when I got diagnosed with the PTSD and stuff, I kind of went into myself and I wasn't really going out and doing anything. But I was out drinking the other night and I've been out socialising, so I'm making more of an effort. So I need people to invite me out for more drinks and stuff. That's just the only way to get me out is to be like an incentive there, like, oh, maybe there's some nice food or maybe there's a nice drink or something. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Come for a pint and have a game of darts.
Let's do the darts. If you can get me into the darts,
yeah,
let's do it. It's because I'm not from that world.
Yeah,
it would be absolutely brilliant just to throw me right in the middle of it. Do you know what I mean? That's what happened with Comic-Con. I'd never done a Comic-Con before, and they were like, "Yeah, come along, don't worry about it." And I didn't realize how big it was going to be, and I was like, "Whoa!" I turned up there, and they were like, "And in 10 minutes, you'll be interviewing Jason O'Mara, Batman. Crack on!" And I was like, oh, "Okay." So that was crazy. Yeah.
Well, you do very well.
Thank you. I like it. But thank you very much for joining me today, John.
Cheers, Alex.
There you go. Cool episode for you. Mission accomplished. Planned an episode within 45 minutes. Knocked it out of the park. Thank you. See you later. Oh, before I go, I just want to mention next week's guest is equally as cool as John, but he's probably one of Shropshire's biggest badasses. This Hans Donner returns to the Shrewsbury Biscuit. I always like to keep in touch with people that have been on my show. And I definitely wanted to check in with Hans regularly because he's doing incredible stuff. He has just skydived over Mount Everest, and he's been very supportive since he came on the podcast as well. Been super, super supportive of what we're doing. So to get him back on the show was an easy yes. So yes, Hans will be coming next week. In the meantime, before that, then, if you have any guests that you want to bring on, there are people I've definitely been speaking to behind the scenes, because there's people doing incredible stuff in the town. I haven't had much of an opportunity to go and have a walk around, look for new businesses and meet new business people, but I did the other day. And I'm really excited about what I was able to achieve with that recce. So got some great people coming in. But if you want to, suggest someone, drop me an email. My email is shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to learn about me and the podcast, please go to the website, which is the shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. And that's lovingly made for me by our sponsors, Web Orchard. If you need a website for whatever it is you do in the world, they will make the perfect website just for you, tailor-made with whatever style, theme, buttons, whatever it is you want to bring onto your website. They'll make it, and they'll make it cool as well. So make sure, if you do go to Web Orchard to buy a website, that you mention that you were sent by Whiteley, okay? Say the biscuit sent me, and people buy me a pint or whatever. I mean, they do a great job anyway, but guys, thank you for tuning into this episode. Really appreciate every single one of you. And I'll catch you next time for our interview with Hans Donner. Yeah, catch you guys next week. Peace out.